Chamath, Oprah, Elon. Isn't it funny how you probably know the people I'm talking about, even though I just mentioned their first names? They say that, once you reach this stage in life where people know you just by your first name, you've really made it. Chamath, Palihapitiya, I don't know if I said his name correctly, Oprah Winfrey, and Elon Musk. And I've been spending a lot of time thinking about working with the three of them. I did podcasts individually on what I think it would be like to work with all three of them. And, my life has got better and better as I've focused more. It's like I always wanted to kind of like change other people, and I worked with a lot of. This isn't really an insult. It's kind of more just like a characterization of how I feel. I worked with a lot of mediocre people because I thought I was saving money, but the amount of time I wasted by saving money was not a saving of money. It was, it's like you get what you pay for, and it's worth spending the best to get the best. If you can't afford the best right away, spend your time to become the best so you can attract the best. And I look at Chamath, and I look at Elon, I look at Oprah. Someone's yelling in the background. That's not good. Especially because I'm in a pretty fancy place. But anyway, let me say a few more words of how I see myself getting closer to working with them, and some of my latest insights about them. Like Chamath, he's going crazy in a good way on the SPACs. I heard an interview with him. He says he wants to do an alphabet of SPACs, which would be 26. He said maybe more than an alphabet. That's kind of interesting because he's done like 5 or 6 SPACs so far, and they're phenomenal. I mean, there's Virgin Galactic, there's Clover Health, there's the fintech company that just came out, SoFi, and I think there might be Open Door. There's been like 5 or 6 of them so far, and I think just to be able to target and know those. I saw his interview on CNBC. He knows the CEO of SoFi for like the last 10 years. He said they both had hard lives. I've had a little bit hard life too. Like if you have a hard life, I've had a very hard life, but it's only been recently that I feel like I've come out the other side, and it's been appreciative of that, not only coming out of the other side, but it's good to go through hard things. Not that you should invite it, because you shouldn't be a glutton for punishment, but it gives you like a huge competitive advantage. Like if you've endured more than other people have had to, then you just feel, it's not really a competitive thing, but you feel in a way stronger than other people. You feel like not only did I survive this, but I thrived in these difficult circumstances, and most people can't do it. Like if you know you can do something important that other people can't do, it gives you like incredible confidence. And Chamath, I think I saw another video of him where he said he wants to basically take on the global elite. He said there's 150 people that run the world, and that he wants to be one of them, but he wants to kind of transform it into more different kind of worldview. Like he grew up poor, and he wants to be able to use capital. Like he says capital is the most important thing to get your foot in the door, because people only respect you basically if you have capital. You only have impact if you have capital. And then once you have capital, you can kind of like diverge and do pretty much what you want, because you're mostly just accountable to yourself at that point. I saw an interview with Tony Robbins. He was interviewed by you, who's a great interviewer. And also Tom's a great interviewer because sometimes he knows when to let the other person talk. And Tony Robbins was saying there's success and then there's fulfillment. And I agree with that. He said a lot of people he said success is a science, but fulfillment, he didn't say fulfillment is an art, but he kind of implied fulfillment is more of an art. Like he said success, if you do A, B, and C, you can learn how to make a lot of money. But he said a lot of successful people are not necessarily happy because either, their relationships are not good or their health is not good. Obviously, some people that are very successful are very fulfilled also. But he says basically success is the beginning, once you become successful. But at the same time also, because one doesn't preclude the other, you have to be working on being happy also, because it doesn't matter if you have all the money in the world. I mean, it's good to have money because then you have impact. But it's not good. It doesn't mean much if you have all the money in the world, but you're not happy. So that's kind of like Chamath. And I think Chamath is a great person to work with because he's a visionary and he's got good values and he's a hard worker and he's effective. Like a lot of people, to get those together, like a lot of people are very effective, but they're not good people, or they're good people, but they're not effective. To be both, to be a good person and effective is kind of a more of a rare combination. And he's very thoughtful. I think like he's focused a lot on psychology as am I. Mindset. If you get your mind right, you can do pretty much anything. And that's why I think the best people in the world always find each other. So Elon's kind of an interesting person because he's a very independent thinker. I think part of it is that he was bullied when he was younger. And when you're bullied, I mean, I was bullied a little bit also for different reasons. I don't want to get into it because it has to do with family. But anyway, Elon was... And his mother, I saw his mother, Mae Mess, she did a couple of interviews, and when I saw her, like, they were raised, both Mae and her kids, to be like kind of adventurers and have like a free spirit and try new things. I think a lot of this rubbed off on Elon, and he's the kind of person who, like, it goes back to first principles thinking, that if he believes something, the whole world can be against him. I mean, in Tesla, so many people try to short him and the company and put them out of business, but it almost sunk the company. I mean, Tesla almost went broke, but when you have the best idea and you know how to execute it, your chances are pretty good. And I think Elon is between the first and second richest person in the world now, trading off with Bezos, depending on how, the stocks do, but Tesla and Amazon. But, Tesla, Elon or Jeff Bezos could easily be the first trillionaire, and they could also, like, Jeff Bezos wants to put 1 trillion people in space in these O'Neill cylinders, I believe, and Elon Musk wants to have 1 million people on Mars. So, to be around a visionary like Musk, I think is... I've done so many podcasts on Tesla. I mean, autonomous driving is just the start. The entertainment in the cars is just the start. I mean, Tesla and SpaceX are going to rule the solar system. And if you want to find out more about that, because when you make the real money is when you understand what other people don't before they do it. Like, if you're not invested in, like, the solar system, then I mean, it's not good to be too early either also, but check out Momentous also. I saw an interview with, who was it? Tony Robbins, where he was interviewing Bill Gross and the CEO of Momentous, which is a space infrastructure company that's revolutionary. It's kind of like last mile in space, like how you go from like just getting up in space to where you want to be in space. And he also